All right, so can you give me a basic background on how you got into art and pretty much where you came from and how you started?
Um, since I was like, I think 4 or 3 years old, I've been drawing. Just copy. Mainly, I started off drawing characters from like animes, like Dragon Ball Z. That's one of my favorite cartoons I ever seen. I used to draw Vegeta and Goku a lot. Basically, I used to copy them to the point where I used to try to mimic exactly how they look. So it was like I just drew on and on and on until I can get exactly how they look down on paper. And then once I felt like I was good at drawing like people and what I seen, I started making up my own stuff. Like I started like one of my first comics that I made up. I guess it was called Omega. It was pathetic, but it was pretty cool when I was younger. Like I was drawing a lot of stuff at a young age, so it was like it kind of gave me the momentum to keep pushing forward. So yeah, that kind of drove me to being an artist. But I ain't really take it serious until high school. I used to have a teacher named Miss Quam. That was my art teacher. I had like art 1, 2, and 3. It was art 4, but I never took art 4 because I don't know why I didn't take art 4, but she was the one. She was like, art, be an artist, art, be an artist. Because I was gonna go to school for psychology or whatever, and that's what I went to school for 1 year. But I kept hearing her voice in my head like, art, be an artist, art, be an artist. So after hearing that, like we had like the art institute, like a spokesperson come to our class one day, and they talked to us about like going like the art institute of Seattle. So that's where I was gonna go to at first, but that's way too expensive. Plus, like I decided to come to California, and ever since then, it's just like I wasn't drawing much like my freshman year of psychology at Wayne State or whatever. But after that year went over, and that summer when I wasn't hanging out with people as much, I just kept drawing and drawing and drawing, and like the feeling came back, and like the inspiration to do art came back, and like it gave me the drive to keep going with it. So that kind of made me want to become an artist.
So with your the comic book you said Omega, pretty much what was the inspiration for that and how did that story did you ever take anything further or did it ever cross over into different stories that you do now?
Kind of, sorta. It's weird because it's like back then. It's like I feel when you're younger, it's like you aren't pressured to like make things look exact. Like so, if you got an idea, it's like say for instance a tree. For instance, you ask a young kid to draw a tree, they'll draw what they think is a tree look like. But the older you get, you be like draw a tree. You try to draw details, bark, leaves, and all this other stuff. Then it's like you don't get the essence of what a tree feels like. So it's like you just grow, like over time you just keep growing, like, and like the stories, yeah, I think it evolved out into more stories because it's like a lot of people tell me like, hey, you should probably try to work for this company, work for that studio, apply to this place, and I applied for a lot of places, but I haven't, got word back. But I also haven't applied at a lot of places. Because watching interviews with other artists and talking to a lot of people and going to like I went to like the Creative Talent Network. That's like a huge convention or whatever, and you get to meet a lot of artists. And they tell you like at the end of the day, for working for studios, they feel drained at the end of the day because they don't get to work on their own stuff. They're working on everybody else's stuff, and they get handed stuff. Whereas with me, I like to create my own characters, my own stories, and like.
So with that, like you said, with that being in mind, what was the inspiration for Omega?
Man, that's a hard question. I don't really know, to be honest. I don't know what. I just love to draw. I think that's the biggest thing.
So it wasn't like you saw Dragon Ball Z and you thought, oh, I want to make my own type of Dragon Ball Z-esque or, Marvel type, comic book.
Kind of.
And then I'm going to call mine Omega. Like, was there anything that you saw around you in your environment that made you want to draw Omega?
Kind of, sort of. Yeah, that had a big impact on me, like seeing Dragon Ball Z, seeing the characters fly, and everybody was just flying. Like, they had wings, everybody just flew and just started fighting and stuff. So it was like, I wanted to create my own, yeah, I guess that was my interpretation of it. I wanted to make my own, like, superpower story. But, I kind of started breaking away from that because it was like, I hate to bring race into it and stuff like that, but you didn't see any black people inside of Dragon Ball Z. I mean, Mr.
Yeah, Mr. Popo.
Yeah,
Mr. Popo.
Exactly. So it was like that kind of made me want to create like black characters, you know. So majority of the characters I draw now is like black, like not because like I'm pro black and stuff, even though I am black. It's just like I don't get to see black characters on TV. You don't really see that. Like I can't name one TV or one anime where it got like a strong black character. Can you?
Not
it's like a lead.
Right
yeah, I say like a lead.
Well, I mean, of course, you
like a main character that's black, like where you can look at Yu Yu Hakusho, where you got Yusuke. You know what I'm saying? He's the lead character, like that's black. You don't really.
Yeah, no.
None.
No, right now. Little Bill, if you want to count. No, but,
Little Bill.
So with that in mind, with and, you know, artists like Aaron McGruder, who started you know, the Boondocks, started off in a small. He started off small and went big. You know, he started off in the Sundays newspaper comics, which was just a little strip of the Boondocks, and he went on to having his own, you know, syndicated series.
Right.
Does that take any influence with you now, or does it just gives you more like, you know,
man,
you know, I don't know, self-esteem to go ahead and just make, you know, more black characters, or how does that affect you?
Oh man, man, that's it's funny because I used to see the Boondocks and like the little comic strips on Sundays newspapers and stuff, but I never used to read it. Like I knew it was like a black kid like Huey or whatever, like with the huge fro or whatever, and he used to like drop knowledge and stuff all the time or whatever. But I never really gave it attention until like the cartoon came out, and I saw it like it's like very political, it's funny, and it's like self-aware and stuff like that. Plus like sometimes when they have fight scenes and stuff, they really like they do outstanding animation, you know, like with the fight scenes and stuff like that. So I like what he's doing. Like he's very inspirational. Like yeah, he's kind of like proving that like, you know, black people can be the main co-stars and the main stars of an animated series and stuff, and it don't have to be ignorant, you know. It's like, so yeah, he's definitely one of my I wouldn't say necessarily idols, but people, well, I guess you could say idols. Yeah, he's one of my idols right now. Yeah.
So what are you currently working on that's like your biggest thing? You know what I'm saying? Like this is me. Like this is kind of like the art jazz style, or this is my art to the world to forever be remembered.
It's hard to say because like I got something in the works, but the more I work on the story, the more that makes me want to draw it. So it's like it's kind of like I'm at a fight with writing the story and drawing the story, because it's like I write a little bit, then I draw what I just wrote, because I get really excited about it. Like I just wrote a lot, just like dang, I want to see it on paper, you know. But like my biggest thing is like I like to create characters and stuff. So like say for instance this picture right there, I'm not sure if you can see it, and can you see it in there? Yeah, like so in this picture right here, this is one of the main characters from my story. Her name is like Commander C, and she's a pirate captain, and basically the story altogether is called like The Mystery of Dr. Eldar, and it's about a doctor that he's kind of deranged, but at the same time he's not. He's looking for love, but he can't find it because he has like a short person complex. So he decides to like find love like out of a story that he read and like bring it to life. And after bringing the story to life, he brings like all these other stories to life, and like that. It's like pirates, monsters, all the stuff you want to see inside of like a nice animated movie. It's like story and adventure and stuff. So she's one of the characters out of the story. She's like a pirate captain and stuff. So I ain't gonna go too deep into it, but the story is slowly going along. But I'm enjoying it. You know, like one thing I learned is like, time is something you always have. Like, of course, time doesn't wait for nobody, but you don't want to just, you know, throw stuff out there. You want to be passionate about what you create. So that's kind of like what I'm going. It's like my passion project, if what you will say.
Okay. Yeah. And basically, as far as where do you see yourself in the future in about 5-10 years with your artwork and career wise?
Definitely having my own studio. Definitely having like a team of people. Because I can create pictures all day long, but I want to see it animated. And it's like I could do animation, but for me to do like a 15-minute animation they'll take like 3 years to produce because it's so much drawn, and like all artists, that's great. Like they like perfection. Like I'm a perfectionist, so I need a team of people, or I want a team of people to help me create what I'm like my ideas and push forward the dream that I'm trying to create. So in 5 years, I definitely plan on having like an art studio. And not like just an online studio, like a legit place for artists to link up and create content. And hopefully create motion pictures. And that's my dream goal. And create the stuff we want to create. Not the stuff Hollywood has where it's like, sorry, but it's mainly like white characters and like rats running around, where it's like you have, black characters, minority characters of different diversity on the screen, So that's what my dream is.
Cool. Thanks for the interview, man. Appreciate the time and, dropping by.
Thanks for having me. It's my birthday.